Saints, this is week 4, class 4 for the martial arts portion. This week we're going to focus on elbows, largely out of a variety of Muay Thai strikes and Kung Fu elbow strikes. So for these demos we're going to explain them slowly and then show what they can be like done on an actual opponent. So I'm going to call in one of my senior students, Jose, who's going to be coming in and helping me demonstrate some of the different elbow strikes. So to begin with, we're always in our stance, remembering toe-heel alignment. We are having knees slightly bent, hands up, and with elbows, I'm going to just go through them very, very slowly because there are probably 6 types we're going to go through. The first is the uppercut elbow strike. When you're striking with the elbow, the contact is about 2 inches from the tip of the bone right here. This part of the meat of the elbow, that's called the elbow blade. This is what cuts opponents in mixed martial arts fights, and this is what can deliver knockout strikes in street martial arts self-defense. So with the uppercut, what we have is we have a straight up elbow uppercut coming up like this, just as if you were doing a fist uppercut. It's coming straight up like this. And there's 2 variations. There's the straight up version where I would be aiming for either his nose and or jaw. And then there is the second variation of the elbow uppercut where I'm actually coming up not straight like this, but I'm coming up a little bit on the side so that my hand, the palm of my front hand is facing down, and I'm coming up like this. And this is another very sneaky type of elbow strike, usually going into the nose or going into right under the chin for a knockout. So he'll apply the same elbow to me, doing an uppercut, and then doing the variation. And you can see as there's some other elbows that you can sneak in a sequence of combination. The next elbow we're going to go through is the roundhouse elbow. So with the roundhouse elbow, I'm in my front stance, we're in a left stance now, and I'm coming out with the left elbow, the lead arm, and I'm coming around just as if we were doing our palm heel roundhouse. We are now doing an elbow roundhouse, so we're coming just straight around like this. What I'm looking to target is either the temple or just below the jaw, and in street self-defense, an area that is not legal in ring fighting, but where you would protect is, going either close into the eyes, or especially the neck here. So if you can bring somebody's guard down and go here, but that's a very dangerous strike. That's something for street martial arts self-defense. So again, we've just covered the roundhouse elbow. So he's going to go ahead and give a roundhouse elbow there. And you'll see in sparring, the best way when your partner is doing this in sparring is to try to go in and meet the elbow and close in and get tight, or to let the elbow strike go through to pass their guard and then to go ahead and do whatever you're going to do. For the next elbow, this is one of my favorites. This is what I refer to as my jabbing elbow, where I just come forward and I'm hitting straight in like this. So a good sequence for a straight in elbow like this is to actually do the roundhouse first, and then to sneak back a little bit and pop straight in. So from this stance you can see I'm just coming around, and even if they block it, I'm coming out and I'm coming straight back in. So it would be 1, 2. That's a very good little sequence to get used to, and not many people are used to seeing that kind of an elbow. We also have scissoring elbows. Scissoring elbows or overhead elbows. And what we do with this is we're coming through and we're coming over, right over the top, and almost like in a scissoring motion to go ahead and usually smash down either on the nose, the jaw, or the temple. And so you're looking at all these different points, and realistically in a street fight, any point you're hitting in self-defense on your opponent, you're going to hit one of those pressure points. So we're just coming around straight like this, and you can make a nice little sequence out of it where you can go 1, 2, 3, and just get used to what that rhythm is like. And again, just like with the palm strikes, it's always coming from the waist. Same with the elbows. A couple other nice elbow strikes to add into your repertoire is what I call the reverse upwards elbow. So from here, if we're sparring, what I can do, especially if he grabs me and clinches me, if I can get it in what I can do is I can try to sneak up and go straight up like this if I can create distance. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing away, keeping a little distance from the body, and I'm coming straight up. That's right under the chin. That's a direct knockout. That's one of the most powerful reverse elbow strikes. So in aerial motion, what you can see is it's just making some distance from the opponent and coming straight up like this. And it's a very, very quick little spot, and it doesn't take much in that part of the body for a knockout. One other one that I'd like to go through, this is kind of the fancier one that you see in the movies. We don't really condone this for the practice of street martial arts, self-defense, but it is what I call the gravity drop elbow. Some people call it the elbow bomb, and so it's just basically if we're up sparring, I can actually try to advance towards him and do a jumping elbow and trying to go right down on the top of the head. Why don't we favor this one? Well, because if he's a very good grappler, he can just grab me in the middle and he can throw me down while I'm airbound before I can even really do anything. You want to be very careful of jumping attacks on somebody that knows how to fight. But again, so if he was to do it to me when we're sparring, he's just jumping up, popping on down on the top of my head, and again, that's a very heavy-duty strike, but just beware, if somebody's a very good grappler, that might not be the smartest move to practice. So we've gone through all the different elbow strikes, and we're also going to do a very quick introduction on parrying. With parrying, so if he comes forward and does a palm heel jab to me, I know that I can do a sequence of parries. We teach parries because it's nice, it's fluid, and it lets you also be able to start getting used to blocking at the elbow. Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to block at the hand, because if he's very good, he can just slip and come back around. So for instance, if he only blocks my hand, when I go to palm heel him, I can just slip back around. That's called slipping. So he doesn't have good control of my arm. But if I go to palm heel him and he focuses on the elbow now he has control of my whole arm and he can move in and do whatever he's going to do. So this is why we want to make sure we get used to practicing trapping the elbow, so when somebody hits, we know, yep, right there, and get used to go ahead and parrying that elbow, open hand, and go after the elbow, not the hand. So that basically concludes the week 4, class 4 martial arts portion. This is something that you should start adding these elbow strikes either in the air or on a bag or pads if you have it every class. Thank you. For strength exercises, for the strength portion of this series, we are going to go through shoulder exercises today, focusing solely on the shoulder. So for this, we're going to go through 4 basic shoulder exercises that you can do readily available with just dumbbells. Just a couple of dumbbells, you can do all of this shoulder work. The first is called the seated military press. We're going to do the seated, then the standing version, and then we're going to go through and do some shrugs and some what I call outward shoulder presses, the dumbbells. And again, all you need is dumbbells for this. So it's very, very user-friendly. You don't need any special equipment. Okay? So with the seated military press, I'm going to go ahead, you're going to take your dumbbells, you're going to carefully go ahead, put them overhead. Some people will use, if you're doing heavier weight, use your knee to kind of go ahead and help it to get it set on the shoulders. And so we're going to go ahead and do a couple presses. And again, for strength with bulk, looking to just build mass and bulk, you're looking to only do 8 to 10 reps. If you're looking to get more cut with tone for definition, you can go ahead and focus as high as 20 to 25 reps. So we'll go ahead, so we're going, and we're doing seated military press. We're keeping our back straight. We're not letting it arch because that's how injury happens. And we're breathing out every time we go up. When you breathe out like you're blowing on soup. Keep your back straight. And then from here, notice the chest. You want the chest to rise, and you want to try to breathe from the pit of the stomach. For standing military press, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to take your dumbbells carefully. If you're using heavier weight, again, you're focusing on not letting the back arch. And so from here, I'll try to do it from a side view so we can make sure I'm not cheating and keeping the back linear and straight. Notice you can hold it at increments and you can stop halfway. So what's the point of holding it halfway? Because by doing this, you're really strengthening every little muscle in the shoulders because you're stopping at a point that your body's still in high tension to go ahead and hold it there. So practicing in increments like this is also a good idea. Just remember, you don't want this to turn into this, because then injury can happen once we're arching the spine. As far as shrugs go, all we're doing, we're relaxing the shoulders as low as they can go. When we tense up, we're tensing, and we're holding for 2 to 3 seconds. Here's the wrong way to do it that we see a lot of college and high school kids do with really heavy weight, doing it the wrong way. They're going up very fast, trying to use every little muscle in their body to get it up just for a second. That's not correct. You're holding it 2 to 3 seconds with a weight that you can handle. You're holding it, and you're going down. Hold, tighten the shoulders, and down. Hold, tighten the shoulders, and go down. As low as you can. That's the right way to do shrugs. And the last, we're going to go through doing what I call outward presses. So this is something that focuses on the shoulder. We'll do it from a couple angles. And all we're doing is you're taking 2 dumbbells, again, a weight which you can handle. Your knees are slightly bent. Your back is straight, linear. You're not arched either way, forward or backwards. And you're looking to hold these at about 90-degree angles, touching. You're going to go out and in, out and in. And you're going directly to the side. Again, you're not doing it like this, trying to just snap it out there with really heavy weight. That does nothing. It does nothing for strength. That does nothing for definition. You're going out and in. From the back, same thing. You're going out, hold it, and in. You're controlling the weight the entire time. And this is a great way to work the shoulders. And the last thing you can do is what we call packing or isometrics, where you're trying to tighten one muscle group in the body while letting the rest of the body be totally loose and relaxed. You can do this with shoulders. It's actually done as if you were in a weightlifting competition and that you're showing off shoulder muscles and you're flexing the shoulders. But the purpose of it is to actually go ahead and start really condensing and packing muscle fibers within the shoulders, okay? So you're going out and you're pressing the shoulder blade in as tightly as you can. You're holding and you're tensing. And you should be going as back far as you can and as in as you can. Using the upper back muscles in the shoulder, and you tense. Your whole body from here to here should be beginning to shake, and that shaking is a sign of getting tougher muscle development. And this concludes the weightlifting strength portion of week 4, class 4. Thank you. As for the cardio portion, for kids interested in track and field and doing all sorts of just cardio, weight burning exercises, fat burning exercises. This is kind of an offshoot of what some people call the M100s. Different exercise groups have different names for it. I kind of modified it to what I find to be the most effective. In just 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, this is by far one of the most intense cardio workouts I've ever done. So it's in 4 sequences that we'll go through slowly, and it's a cycle, a repetitive cycle of these 4 sequences that you do roughly every 15 seconds, and you switch into the next. The first will be jumping push-ups. So, jumping push-ups, we know, we've gone through in another video, just going up and down. If people have problems with it, you can just do it on your knees, so you get the same kind of cardio burn feel, but it's easy for some people to start with on their knees. So I'm just on my knees, same thing. We're just going down, and you're just doing that motion, and that is the first sequence of what you're going to be doing. The second sequence is going to be called mountain climbs. Most people have probably seen this in cardio workouts before. Your hands are out, and you're just switching your feet as fast as you can. And your hands are staying in the same spot. And then from there, you're going to go up, and you're going to do what we call crossovers. Your arms are going to be up as if they were in your guard. You're not going to let them hang down. And you're going to just be jumping, switching over every time. So this is good for body coordination. I'm coming over, and I'm switching over on one side with my left over my right, and then I'm coming back out, and then I'm switching over with my right over my left. We're going back and forth doing that about 15 seconds. And then from there, we do what we call leapfrogs. There are different variations of leapfrogs in cardio exercise. This is how I learned it. This is what I find to be the best. So you'll go from a squatting position, same thing, hands are in, and you'll go all the way up and all the way down. And we're going to do this sequence for roughly, you want to try to shoot for anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes, depending on the ability of each student. So I'm going to just go through one cycle of what it should look like now. Okay, so we will start. I do the jumping push-ups on my fingertips. I'm more used to it that way. Certainly I don't expect students to do it that way. Better to start on your hands. So we'll do it from a side view, and then we'll do it from a front view. Okay, so here we are, and we'll go. So we're doing our jumping push-ups. And again, each sequence is going to be about 10 to 15 seconds. And then from here, mountain climb. From here, the crossovers. Get your hands up by the side of your head. And finally, the leapfrogs. So you're just going down in a squat, up as high as you can, keeping your hands up. Every time it should be like a spring. You want to try to think of the ground as a springboard for you. If you do that for 10 to 20 minutes, that is an excellent cardio workout that most people I've trained with cannot do. So that will conclude the cardio portion of Class 4, Week 4. And this is Ryan Gilbert for Army of Saints for the Week 4 Class 4 meditation piece on this week's series. We're going to go through a very brief example of a very simple meditation called focused concentration meditation. The only difference between this week's meditation and last week's transcendental meditation with your eyes closed, putting your mind someplace else, a place of safety. Well, here, this is a little different. Here, we're focused on the here and now. You're going to take one single thumbtack or pin. All you're going to do is just put it in a wall, and you're going to just sit cross-legged, and you're going to put it at eye level, and you're going to keep a nice straight posture, tongue on the roof of the mouth, breathing in and out through the nose, and you're going to keep your eyes open and focus on that one item. And you're breathing in and out through the nose, and you're breathing from the pit of the stomach, the dantian, 2 to 3 inches below the belly button. And after a few minutes of this, students might start to notice that everything else becomes a little blotchy as far as, almost like a white cloud, a blur. That's okay, because it's your mind focusing on that one single tiny item so long, it's okay to have that happen. There's nothing wrong. And after doing this long enough in silence, you'll find you can do a 20 or 30 minute focused concentration meditation, and it will feel only like 5 minutes, yet a half hour goes by very quickly. And that's a good sign. And that concludes how we do our focused concentration meditation. And again, it's simple. All you need is a thumbtack or a pin and learn how to drown the sounds out around you. And we're going to close with the regular 4 things we always want students to remember. First of all, everybody should be able to group up and say one nice thing that they learned, one fun or cool thing they learned that they really want to incorporate into their practice from the week 4 series. Everybody should be getting more comfortable talking about one thing that they're looking to work on within their own personality, whatever it may be. Getting angry too easily, people that might always be not on time or late or forgetting to do things. Whatever it is, we want to be able to start talking more openly about this, because you're making yourself tougher and stronger doing that. The third thing, keep referring to the Army of Saints nutrition chart of champions. Why? Because we want you to start eating intelligently. And of course, the fourth thing, we're going to go ahead and ask everybody to keep thinking about the work readiness, the job readiness that we build into this, because all of these things, as kind of random or different as they seem, with the cardio, the strength training, the martial art, the job readiness stuff like the interviews and resumes that we incorporate into our series, these are all things that are actually geared to get you more ready for the next stage, the next chapter of your life, whether you're in high school or college now, whatever happens next. So be thinking about all those things, continue to work on what your instructor has you work on, and we'll see you soon for week 5, class 5.